Welcome to round 2 with Elves, and round 2 of Magic Online returning the chat box to where I don't want it. Uh, I'm not opposed to this hand. It's not great. I'm going to fetch a Tomb on 1 and play the Mystic. Starting to think 18 might be one land too few. I'll add that to the list of things. Oops. Literally list of things. There's a cool card that I want to talk about in the context of a matchup that I did not put in the deck. Um, but I'll just wait because I'd prefer not to spoil the surprise until we get to think about it, how it would work in action. Don't kill it. It's probably dying. Oh, well, that's fine. That's a less fine card to have on top of this. This entire setup is significantly less fine, but I do get to put a decent amount of blocking into play. Like, not power toughness, just blocking. Hopefully there's no Searing Blaze involved. That's fine. Oh, so Zoo. Okay. That's a little less scary than like a one. Well, I guess like one drop Zoo is kind of scary, but it's less scary for my start than burn. I think I'm supposed to. Let's see. I think this block's pretty straightforward, but I'm pretty sure I'm just dead anyways. So I just do this. I get to trade a 2/2 for the 3 for this. 1/1 trades here. I have a creature to block Goblin Guide, but the fact that I'm drawing non-lands is a big problem. So I eat 2 damage regardless of how I block. Rather leave. Yeah, I don't think this is going anywhere good. It is not. Well, like that card here, I think. Well, these are great, obviously. These are pretty good. I don't really like Court a lot here. I don't like clunky-ish cards against Zoo. I also have to board out some cards because of Worship. Uh, Clunky card out. Actually, that card's good. I kind of want to shave on Shaman, which means I should probably shave more than I'm thinking because it's bad in multiples. Maybe just do something like this and not worry about shamaning out my Zoo opponent. Like, I'll just build enough of a board anyways. I like all these other cards. I need the low-end enablers. I need the cards that draw me extra cards. Yeah, this looks good. This is like... I don't really want to go down this road to fight Goblin Bushwhacker. Or Reckless Bushwhacker. New, new and improved Bushwhacker. It's weird that my opponent's playing Reckless Bushwhacker with Loam Lion. Like, I'd assume that you try to go Burning Tree Emissary, like that's the big payoff. But maybe I'm wrong. You just like have one drops, like they did last game. Keeping this hand has multiple lands. How could I ever pass? I'm gonna go Archdruid into whatever backup Archdruid. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have something crazy like. I guess maybe my opponent's just like full on. So in all the Eldrazi Madness, I actually never looked at the Team Blitz list for that deck. If it had Loam Line, that's like not unreasonable. I guess is like your last one drop, but I don't know how many one drops. You have Kurt Ape, Experiment One, Wild Nikotl, Goblin Guide. Like, do you need extra ones beyond that? Like, would you rather have Grim Lovemancer? Would you rather have like, there's on-color cards like Rakdos Cackler, honestly. Like, I've considered these. I like just putting all of my creatures into play. And this is like, last turn I needed to be mana efficient and play the 3 mana spell instead of 2 1 mana spells. But 3 1 mana spells, especially when I get to attack for damage next turn, is pretty relevant. Though, yeah, I guess like my rebuild turn it kind of ends up the same. So the thought is that when I play the Archdruid, I'm now in like a weird-ish spot where, I mean, I will trade immediately. Yeah. Do I even want to Archdruid here? What if I just Messenger? Let's Messenger first and see what happens. Archdruid into open mana feels like putting myself into an out of position interaction. Oh boy. Well, I will put all of the mana dorks into play. I still have 2/2/2s, so I have good blocks on a Bushwhacker. 3 8 mana next turn, which is enough to just play my whole hand. I guess I didn't have to play the last mana dork, but I like leaving the ability to just jam even more onto play if I need to. Another thing worth noting is I've seen some lists with like Razor Verge Thicket so you can cast Worship a little easier. The tons of Guiltleaf Palaces do cast the Shamans, but it's possible that that's not the road you want to go down. Like, you could adjust your mana a little bit to make it work out slightly better. Well, this is profitable for us, most likely. Oh, well, yeah, I would like to put additional things into play. Leave as many creatures untapped as possible. Trying to figure out if it's actually worth attack. My opponent's done so much nothing that I honestly don't even want to attack here. Like, they may as well just be sitting on 2 removal spells or something, and I can just... They probably are, honestly. Like, 2 kill spells? No? What does my opponent have in hand? What are they not playing? Lands and Atarkus commands, I guess? Okay. Gore-Clan Rampager. So... So let's think about this. Rampager makes this a 6. If one of these dies, 6, 7, that's a 3. So if I do this, that's better. I like the Vigilance of Tacker in play. This plays around Gore Clan plus single kill spell and doesn't throw away my Vigilance creature. Okay, well, my opponent just conceded, so that's also a good sign. Yeah, I don't really like Shaman here. Cord, I agree with not being great. Yeah. Maybe... Yeah, I don't want to go down the Spellskite road. This Cord board's a little awkward once you start going down the Messenger road. So we'll add that again to the list of things. So far from this match, we have Cord board awkward with Messenger and... we'll snap this hand off. We have protection from red plus worship. What one drop do we have today? Please say Goblin Guide? Can actually block Goblin Guide. I guess worst for me is Nicodle. But I guess they're not, none of them are even that bad. So think I lead on Mystic. Even if it gets bolted, my next turn is still pretty decent. This is a Bushwhacker that's kind of obnoxious. Oh, that's fine. That's significantly less fine. What's my line? Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I'm required to make the play that puts the worship into play next turn, potentially. But I die to a Tarkus command, but I don't think I beat a Tarkus command in any situation anyways. Because that like makes me draw a land to beat it. Yeah, super dead to a Tarkus command. Super dead to Bolt. I would have hit the land. So if I chump, I still lose to Bolt. I still lose to command. I still lose to everything. I do not lose to Kurt Ape. So... good luck, have fun. Be back later. Well, yeah, I'm at 1. Okay. Oh, worship is so fun for... Wait. No one involved. That's how that works. So I probably want to get Forge Tender in play in case my opponent's the kind of person that would board in like Pyro or something like that. Anger. Pyroclasm specifically because they're all X3s. Well, that was not the best. So cool, like super minor thing here is I guess in this spot I have two companies here, but like often in those spots you want to put the company on the bottom so that a later bottom stack puts like cards under the company instead of like drawing the company, and it's pretty marginal I think, but in case I end up looping through my deck. So I can put Archdruid and Forge Tender into play here. So I should draw my deck in the immediate future. And by draw my deck, I mean draw all the elves in my deck. And eventually one of those will be Azuri, at which point my opponent takes literal... I think, like, when I say literal thousands this time, I do mean literally thousands. I can activate with Archdruid probably... So let's think. Well, my opponent conceded, so I'm not going to do the math. I'm just going to think about it. So the lessons learned from that match on the build were the white source count for worship is a little low. You're, like, constraining your stuff there. And the chord board with Sylvan Messenger is a little awkward because you mess with your elf count. Okay, two important lessons with building this deck.